Well. What a good episode of One Punch Man Season 2. I don't know how many of you realized it, but the Elder Centipede at the end of the episode, that was CGI. Now, there was elements of it that was 2D drawing, like we're used to, but there was, like, the overall, like, big, long body shot, that was CGI. And I was pretty impressed. Like, I instantly knew it was CGI, but I was not upset with it, because it didn't feel so jarring and take me out of the experience. So, I'm just gonna say, real quick, JC staff, I'm proud of you. You did a good job. Like, you did a really good job. I was a little bit concerned, because before I watched this episode, I was told that there was a CGI centipede. Instantly, I knew that had to be Elder Centipede, and I'm glad to find out, even though it is CGI, it isn't actually that bad. Now, once again, if this was Season 1, we wouldn't see that, but we can't compare Season 2 to Season 1. So, I'm pretty impressed. I'm not gonna lie, that was a really good episode. This was a good episode, and it seems like the more and more we continue on with Season 2, it gets better. And this is good news, because obviously the beginning of One Punch Man Season 2 was a shaky start. Episode 1 had some problems, Episode 2 definitely had some problems, 3 got a hell of a lot better, and 4, this is a major step up. So I'm very pleased with the quality of these recent episodes, because if they can keep this up, then we definitely have a really good show on our hands, and I think fans won't be completely disappointed. Obviously, the manga art's always going to look better, but even then, though, at the very least, the anime still will be very enjoyable and still retain some of the quality that One Punch Man fans want. So, very pleased. So, to get right into the nitty-gritty, let's talk about Garou for a second. Right at the beginning, we had characterization for Garou and how he got his motive of wanting to be a self-proclaimed monster and hunting after heroes. Now, to explain, basically, he was a kid watching a hero show. He was watching like a early morning Sunday show or whatever that children would normally watch. And normally from children's perspective, they'll be voting on a hero to win. Like, hey, win hero, win hero. And that's what normally you would see. But Garou was very different. He was someone, when he was watching these, children's shows of heroes, beating up monsters, he was always cheering for the monsters. He wanted the monsters to be able to go in, win, and then not lose to a hero. And then eventually he had a huge wake-up call. He had a wake-up call to where he realized that monsters never win. Heroes are always the ones that come out on top. And he started to ask the question, why is that? Why does heroes have to win? This is a very big, important part of his character. It's crucial, because it kind of lets us see how, in today's society, why some people would vote on monsters to win. It's kind of one of the reasons why I think villains winning in the end is so entertaining, because it's just something you don't see very often anymore. And that's why I think Garou will definitely inspire some individuals to be like, yeah, I can see where he's coming from. Like, I understand why he's acting like that. I mean, monsters can have some really cool designs. I mean, when you think about One Punch Man, there's been some really cool looking monsters. Like, let's look at Boros, for instance, at the end of Season 1. Lord Boros, his design is amazing. And when you really think about his character, he could have easily have been an MC just because of his overall motive. And when you think about the, Sea King, the Sea King in the middle of One Punch Man Season 1, the Sea King was crazy design. His design was awesome. We've had some really interesting looking monsters. And obviously, a child as Garou's age, looking at these monsters really standing out, they would probably cheer for them. Like, hey, this is a really, really cool monster. I want him to win. Because, let's be honest here, many of us probably like Godzilla. We like seeing Godzilla going up against other monsters and stuff, the king of monsters. It's cool. And that's kind of where Garou comes from. He wants to see, monsters win for a change, see some mix-up. And that is why he became a self-proclaimed monster, for he could change that formula. For he won't be something that will just be defeated and thrown to the, the heap or trash heap. He'll be someone that stands up and proves that monsters can win as well. So yeah, just good stuff overall to the motive, and it kind of, clarifies a lot of why he would act like that. Now, let's talk about the Garou waking up. So Garou, he wakes up in the middle of an alley on top of trash. And unfortunately, he doesn't remember anything about Saitama the previous night, which is rather sad. It is very sad because it would definitely give a lot of motive if Garou was to remember that someone just one-shotted him like that, but obviously that was not the case, and he did not remember. Saitama just hit the man so freaking hard that he wasn't even able to remember what exactly happened to him. So it's kind of sad, but at the same time, I guess it leads up to more build-up from when Saitama finally faces him. He's like, oh, you're that guy I knocked out in the middle of the alley. You've gotten a lot stronger. You know, maybe that's what's going to happen. Now, one of the big little details I do want to mention is that Saitama does say in this episode that one of the things that he can't remember anymore is how a fight feels, a real fight feels. He just doesn't know how it feels anymore because it's been so long since he's actually had a real fight, a challenge, that he just can't remember it anymore. And with him saying it, once again, it goes back to the origin story of how One Punch Man even began and how sad it is for him. He's someone that is already at the pinnacle of everything. He's so strong, he pretty much one-shots everything, and that's usually how it goes. And it's sad, because imagine if you were just so strong that you never had a challenge anymore. There's nothing you really could ever do now to have a challenge. And I wonder if that's foreshadowing for maybe Garou becoming someone very strong, since technically he's a human, becoming so strong that he might somewhat give Saitama a challenge. I doubt it, because Saitama's a character that will always rise above and win, but it would be interesting if at one point or time in the future of this series, Saitama does have a legitimate fight, someone that is able to break the limits of their body itself and become at the realm of where Saitama is. That's something I would love to see. Don't know how long that will be until something like that happens, but still, it would be pretty freaking cool if something like that did happen in the future of One Punch Man. But, yeah, Garou, though, he didn't remember, and he just carried on with his day. And we got a little bit more characterization from him as well. He attacks Metal Bat at the end of the episode, which is not necessarily honorable. Because when you think about it, Metal Bat was injured, and he was already in the middle of a fight with Elder Centipede. And Garou coming in like he did and attacking Metal Bat, it's something that you would normally not see. But once again, we gotta remember from a perspective of a monster. Garou is supposed to be a self-proclaimed monster, and obviously a monster, they're not gonna wait around for a hero to heal up. They're gonna attack instantly. So it fits the theme of Garou wanting to be a monster, but it just shows once again about his personality. He's not honorable. He's not gonna allow someone to recharge, heal up and all that. He will attack you as soon as he sees you. Even if you're a wounded animal on the ground, he will get rid of you. And so, that shows a lot. But we do know as well, Metal Bat is someone, the more he gets injured, he gets a little bit more fired up, he gets a little bit stronger, which we saw in this episode. So even then, Garou is not being honorable. He's still doing the right move. If he really wants a true fight, he fights Metal Bat when he's at, hurt or weakened, because he will be a lot more powerful and he will be able to improve himself and get stronger to where he can challenge and rival the higher tier S-class heroes. So anyways, can Garou actually win against Metal Bat? Well, let's look at the facts here. If there's one thing that we have learned briefly from Garou, he is someone that quickly adapts to his opponent. At first, he gets welled upon, destroyed by his opponent. When we think about what Tank Top did and what happened at the end of the last episode, usually he's welled upon and demolished. And then eventually he learns their fighting style, and then he turns the tables on them and he beats the living crap out of them. And if we're going by that theme, then most likely Metal Bat is going to probably well upon him, beat the crap out of him, and if Garou could somehow not be knocked out instantly like what Saitama did to him, then he will be able to improve and become a hell of a lot stronger. So there is a lot of potential here that Garou will become even more of a monster if Metal Bat doesn't just get rid of him in an instant. The longer the fight goes on, the harder it's going to be for Metal Bat to be able to bring down Garou. He has to be able to do it instantly. And you gotta remember something though. At the end of the day, Garou is still technically human. And so obviously these heroes, even though they are looking at Garou as a self-proclaimed monster, a hero hunter, they're not necessarily going to kill them, or kill him, because heroes don't necessarily kill people. So that's another big move here, is that Garou does have the advantage because most heroes are not going to kill him. Even if they say they might or they're going to hurt him, they're not going to necessarily straight up kill him because, obviously that would be an unhero-like thing to do, so they can't really necessarily go out of their way and do that. So yeah, there is a lot of things in play for Garou right now, really working for him and allowing him to have the advantage to improve, get stronger, and eventually rival the top-tier heroes a part of One Punch Man. Now, speaking of which, let's talk about Metal Bat. Let's talk about his fighting style and how he demonstrated himself in this episode. Now, Metal Bat, he is someone that comes from Season 1 of One Punch Man. We saw a little bit of his fighting style at the end of Season 1 when Lord Boros invaded. Really great character, and a little bit tidbit that many might have forgotten is that he is a little bit of a sister con. Like, he loves his little sister. You can see when she calls him and all that, he answers the phone, he gets all shy and embarrassed and all that, trying to say, like, it's okay, don't worry, it's not what you think. You know, he loves his little sister, he wants to protect her, and this is something that carries over from Season 1 when he was talking about his sister, how he just wanted to get up and leave. So, I mean, yeah, that little trait of his character, once again, very prominent, very important to him, and that he will do anything to really make his sister happy. Now, another little detail is that he is someone that really is powerful. Like, at first glance, he just seems like a regular delinquent, but when he starts nailing the different centipedes, the monsters in this episode, he annihilates them. Like, he does some serious freaking damage to them, and he is just a monster of a fighter. And he isn't even, like, the top tier. Like, he isn't even at the, like, the top end of the S-class heroes. It really puts in perspective how strong he is, and how, you know, the other S-class heroes, how strong they are, if someone like Metal Bat can do what he did in this episode. So, yeah, it's just really cool to see Metal Bat go in. He's honestly one of my personal favorite characters of the S-class heroes, besides certain individuals, which I'm not going to get into, but I do love his character, and I'm glad to see him have such an amazing spotlight in this episode. So anything else really to get into? I guess, let's get into Saitama. So Saitama, obviously, he's entering into the tournament. He's entering into a martial arts tournament, and it's a tournament arc. Obviously, Saitama is so freaking OP that this tournament pretty much is over. He already has won. That's how strong he is at this point, or how strong he is in general. Nobody's going to be able to really stand up to him. But what I think that this fight or this tournament's really going to show is not about Saitama growing in strength. It's more about Saitama finding himself and finding the meaning of fighting and being a hero in general. And I think that's what he learned in this episode. You know, he realized that Charanko, even though he's weak, he's not necessarily OP or powerful. He's someone that doesn't give up. He has a heart of, like, iron. He's someone that will go in and he will get the job done, even if it results in him passing out and breaking. He still never gives up. And, you know, it shows a lot about him as a character. He charged Garou, even though he knew he was at a major disadvantage, he wouldn't be able to win. He still charged Garou and got pummeled, but he still tried. And this says a lot about Charanko as a character compared to everyone else that, you know, Silver Fang was teaching, is that they all backed down, they ran away, they quit the dojo, while Charanko stayed behind, arguably the weakest of all of Silver Fang's students. So Charanko, definitely a very powerful at heart. Like, he's a really powerful dude at heart, and I think Saitama got to see that. He's going to learn a lot about that throughout his journey through this tournament arc. And so I think that's about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever a video is uploaded, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.